Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another visual pattern challenge. Here is step one of today's visual pattern. Here's step two. Here's step three. And your job, your challenge would be to predict the number of little cubes in step four. And, we're only seeing the outside of these big cubes, but we have to imagine that they continue to be made up of little cubes of the same size as these little cubes all the way through. Okay, so we'll just assume that that's the truth. So can you figure out how to predict the number of little cubes in step four? If you can do that, can you predict the number in step 43, which I think is going to be an awful lot? And could you write an equation to predict the number of little cubes in any step at all? If you'd like to accept that challenge, pause the video and see what you can do. All right, so in this particular case, usually I like to count the number in each step and make a chart and look at the differences and so forth. In this case, I think that might be tedious and not very useful because visually, I think we can get a pretty good grasp of what's going on and a pretty good idea of what an equation should be without having to count all of the individual cubes. So I think that's the approach I'm going to take today. What I'm noticing is that step one has 5 cubes on each side. So that's a 5 by 5 by 5 cube. Step two is 6 on each side. And step three is 7 on each side. So it looks like they're going up by 1 every step. And, I know that this is going to be a cubic pattern, right? There's going to be an x cubed somewhere because to tell the number of little unit cubes that make up a bigger cube, it's something cubed. You multiply each side by itself 3 times to get the number of cubes there. So the only thing is it doesn't match exactly to the step number. This is step one. 1 cubed would just be 1. And there's clearly more than 1 cube here. There's 5 times 5 times 5. That's 125 little cubes there. But what I'm seeing is that the number of cubes on a side just goes up by 1 each turn. So really, we just have to start out by taking the step number, which is 1 to begin, add 4 to it. That would give you the 5 we've got in the first cube, and then cube that, right? Because each side is the step number plus 4. If you think about that in step 2, we've got sides of 6. Well, 2 plus 4 is 6, so each side is 6 in step 2. Similarly, in step 3, 3 plus 4 will be 7. We have 7 on each side. So this is going to be the equation to calculate all of this. And I'm not going to try to count for step 4, or certainly not for step 43. I'm just going to cube these things. So we're writing our equation first this time, a little bit unusual for us. So we have the side number plus 4 quantity cubed. So if we want to express how many in the next step, we're going to say y equals the step number 4 plus 4 and then cube it. So whatever 8 cubed is, that's going to be our answer for this one. And I'm just going to pull out my calculator here. 8 times 8 times 8, and that is 512. So already by step 4, we have 512 little cubes. Now step 43, we're going to have y equals step 43 plus 4 cubed. So that's 47 times 47 times 47. And I am getting, you can go ahead and verify this for yourself, 103,823. That is a lot of little cubes. So how did that go for you? Were you able to see the pattern and come up with an equation just by looking at this? Did you try to analyze the numbers in a chart? I'd be interested to know how that worked out. If you did, let me know. Thanks, everybody.